Hiya, good morning. It's Joey Reynolds in New York. We finally got a touch of winter. Oh, I'm from Brrrrufal. Yeah, we got the long sleeves and what we know how to do here in New York is we layer our clothes. We put one on after the other, and I don't know. I have short underwear. I don't want to give you my entire wardrobe, but the bra is itching me right now from Victoria's Secret. But we have a different kind of weather in New York than we have in Florida. You knew that, didn't you? Yeah, I'm sitting in the car. I don't want to drive the car because I make everybody nervous when I drive the car and I hold the phone with the other hand and I steer with my private parts. So what are we doing today? Okay, we're going to talk about the white claw on the Republican Party. This is like an abortion child. Is Trump ever going to let go? Is he? No. Oh, God. And then look at what we've done to Poland. They found 2 people got killed with the missile that went wrong. And we don't want to have a nuclear war over 2 people who died in Poland. Or anywhere, we're not going to go to war for 2 people. We're going to go to war for the one person, Putin. We're trying to figure out how to get rid of him. And one of the things that I thought to do was to have a bunch of guys here who look like him and send them over and confuse the hell out of the country so that they all get drop them into the borders and have them walk through Russia. And I will bet you if we have 20, 30 people that are like Putin that we trained over here to look like him, lookalikes, they'd all get killed. They'd all be dead because his own people don't want to do what he's doing. But you know that. This is that political stuff. See, we don't do politics as a rule because there's no answer. That's why. There's only 2 things that I will mention to you about this. One is I'm not going to answer phones and talk about politics on my new TV show. And I also am not going to discuss why the Yankees lost. That ain't going to happen. So what we're going to do is just have some fun. Jackie Gleason had a television show down. Well, he was very, very big. His #1 star on CBS television for years. They paid him fortunes. He even had his own train. They gave him a train. And he moved down to Florida. He moved the show from New York, which is now the Ed Sullivan Theater. It was the David Letterman Theater. It was the Jackie Gleason Theater. CBS owns that space, obviously. So Jackie Gleason moved the show, the entire show, with the June Taylor dancers and everybody, his big movable feast with the bars and his golf clubs. And he came to Miami, and the show was a bomb. It wasn't good. So he had to change the format. He stepped out on the apron of the stage. He looked at the audience and he said, pal, this is not working. We're going to have to bring the honeymooners back. So that's what he did. But the honeymooners were only a black and white television show that had about, maybe even 30 shows. That's all he had. But it was always wonderful and good and customary to run that on every channel that needed programming. So years of the honeymooners, but no real live honeymooners anymore until he bombed in Miami. And then they did the show live with Art Carney and Joyce and who else was in that? Audrey Meadows, Joyce Meadows, yeah. So I think we got to bring the honeymooners back. That's what we need. That we got to get rid of this politics on radio and television. These guys, they live by this whole thing because they got nothing else. It's like a bad card game. They're playing with a bad hand. And the radio and television industry, they're all in the toilet anyway. They should have a big flush handle on the NAB meetings, the National Association of Broadcasters, as opposed to the NBA, which is the reverse initials for the National Broadcast. What is the NBA? Yeah, the National Basketball Association. I got confused here. And so did they. So what I'm trying to do is come back on television with the honeymooners and then move over to the Friars Club in New York and get everybody to wait for celebrities to return. We haven't had stars in a long time. We got celebrities. We got if Taylor Swift is selling out with all those shows and she's the biggest thing going, we're in trouble. I mean, really, I can see where there's a fan of her, but you know, we're taking Dolly Parton and using her image for travel cards on the subway in New York. You know, they put her picture on there. They're celebrating her, and for her greatest hits album. Did I say that right? Yeah. So we got all these celebrities, but we want to bring back the old stars because we don't have stars anymore. I mean, the news today was even about Brad Pitt, who's 50 years old, going out with a young 30-year-old girl and explaining how he is sneaking in backstage to see some of these young performers. I mean, you know, if we're going to talk about Brad Pitt, that's my generation. You know, what are you doing? Going to go back? How about Clark Gable and Ava Gardner? Do you ever hear of her? This generation doesn't know anything about it because there's no history in this generation. Why? Because we're all living in the moment. Social networking has brought us the moment, and nobody wants to know from the past, even the banks. Oh yeah, what's that Irving Berlin thing? I want to read that to you. Irving Berlin wrote, "Got no checkbooks, got no banks, and I'd like to express my thanks. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night." And there's an invasion of the moon by Artemis, which is going to take a bunch of years. Nobody's on that ship, but I can name a few people who belong there, that's for sure. And I hope they circle the world and the globe and the universe forever. That's where Putin belongs. He belongs like in Superman, where they put all the villains out into space and they float around. But it'll be our lucky guy's got a parachute.